Welcome to the White Rabbit YouTube channel. In today's episode, we're looking at free energy and suppressed technology, from water-powered cars, zero-point energy devices, anti-gravity, energy from the ether, and the U.S. Invention Secrecy Act that covers it all up. The inventors usually die under mysterious circumstances after filing their patents if the technology is too advanced or can be used by the U.S. military-industrial complex. The Invention Secrecy Act of 1951 allows the government to keep certain technologies classified, only to be used by the U.S. military if they so choose. If the inventor is lucky, they'll get nothing but trouble. If they speak out, they'll get jail time or worse. Worse is the usual dish served. In 1998, Stanley Meyer invented a water-powered car. This wasn't his first invention. He had other patents taken away by the government, so this time he went straight to the media. His car could go from coast to coast in the United States on only 22 gallons or 83 liters of gasoline. It would take an average car about 200 gallons in 2024, which is 757 liters. It was examined by engineers across the country. All was well. Then the Pentagon showed interest. He was soon after poisoned, and the official autopsy report wrote that it was a brain aneurysm. While on the subject of cars, Tom Ogle invented a carburetor that ran on its own fumes. His car usually did 11 miles per gallon, which is 41 liters, but after his alterations, it did 100, which is 378 liters. He got a patent and was offered $25 million by Shell Oil. He refused when he found out they planned to shelf it. Then the U.S. Air Force showed interest. After that, the IRS, SEC chased him for months. Then he was shot. He survived, but of course not for long. While visiting a friend, he suddenly died. It was ruled an accidental overdose, despite Tom Ogle never doing drugs. William Lamb of the Lamb Shift says that in empty space, there's enough energy in the volume of a cup of coffee to evaporate all the world's oceans. It's called zero-point energy. Nikola Tesla called it the ether. In the 18 and 1900s, it was called the fifth element. It's the same energy the Tartarians were using, that I talked about in detail in the previous Tartaria episode. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out. Tesla tried to harness energy from the zero-point field using the Wardenclyffe Tower, tapping into an endless supply of energy that's all around us. He wasn't the only one. Edwin Gray invented an electromagnetic motor that ran continuously on only 27 watts. The output was over 7,000 watts. His laboratory was illegally raided. Everything was confiscated. Soon after, he was found dead in his home. Lloyd Sweet invented a similar device powered from the ether, called a vacuum triode amplifier, using only 0.3 milliwatts, turning it into 224,000 watts of continuous power. All the power you could need, no noise, and stable. It also had anti-gravity power. He filed a patent, then someone broke into his lab, stole everything, and he was found to have had a heart attack and died. 0-point energy devices have been recovered from UFOs. Johnny Dotto invented a machine that used gravity, frequency, and magnetics. It could levitate and slow aging dramatically. He was hit by a car multiple times. T. Townsend Brown, the father of anti-gravity, using high voltage and an electromagnetic field to create lift free from gravity, basically a flying saucer, but the National Secrecy Act prevented him from commercializing or even publicizing any technology. He didn't and lived a long life. The secret to staying alive is don't patent it. Share it with the world, just like Jonas Salk did with the polio vaccine. When asked, he said, "Could you patent the sun?" implying it's for everyone. Very recently, on April 22nd, 2024, Dr. Charles Buhler announced he and his team discovered a new force. Dr. Charles Buhler, the co-founder of Exodus Propulsion Technologies, claims his company's propulsion drive defies the laws of physics. If done correctly, one can generate forces unlike anything humankind has done before. It will be this force that we will use to propel objects for the next 1,000 years. Hopefully, he doesn't disappear or have an accident like the others. If you liked what you saw or learned and would like to see more similar content in the future, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'm not saying this and every story is 100% true. I'm just telling a story and you can believe what you want. Uncovering the truth, one conspiracy at a time. See you next week on the White Rabbit YouTube channel.